everybody, and welcome to another round of the BISC GT3 Championship for round 5 here at Daytona. We've officially reached the halfway point of our season after last week's race at Road America. Now time for Daytona, though, to kick off the second half, which contains some iconic circuits from around the world, by the way. Bathurst next week, Fuji the week after that, Mugello the week after that, to round out our season. It's myself, Ewan, and Austin Scheff with you here today, and indeed all the way to the end of the season as well. And it's the high banks of Daytona, Austin. We're not using the oval, you understand, but the Roval instead, the famous Roval that holds a 24-hour race and so many sports car races across the year. It's a great place to go racing, I find, even if it's not a great place to drive. There's a lot of straights, but it's a great place to race. The slipstreaming opportunities around here make it very, very interesting and great to watch.
Yeah, indeed. And the big thing I've noticed about the road course here at Daytona is you can go extremely fast in some of these corners. Like the bus stop, you can go at least 100 going into that corner without losing control, but still got to be careful in the pack, not make contact or spin out. But in fact, it's a real great racetrack, and I'm excited to see how these guys continue to work their way through the championship points and they can do from it.
Well, exactly. We're only halfway. We've got a long way to go. As the first qualifying times are coming in, I'll just tell you about the championship standings at the moment, which have Eric Aria at the front of them now by 18 points over Guillaume Dombray, who is in second. Ivan Vanchigiato is 42 points further behind in third, with Peter Pereira, David Wang then rounding out the top 5. These are guys now outside that top 3 who are really quite a long way away from the front. Gordon Pianzola, Dante Oliver, Lee Harrison, Matt Warner, Ben Snell round out the top 10. And then loads of drivers at the bottom who have not scored very many points so far throughout the season. And they are towards the bottom end. First round of times have just about come through. Vanchigiato, who you can see here in the Porsche, is currently leading the way. 143.7 for him, but as we know, with these GT3 cars these days, it is not about the first lap time of the bunch. It is probably about maybe second, third and fourth, really more, or maybe even third and fourth, to boil it down even further. It is difficult to warm these tyres up these days in the GT3s, and that does take away from your opening lap time of the day.
Yeah, and you can see at the bottom of your screen, Ian Vanchigiato, sorry about that. He set 2 fast lap times in 2 different sectors, so he's gonna remain the fastest car on the racetrack right now. Sub 143, but Eric Aria that's gonna take that spot away from him. But seeing some really fast lap times out here, I'm excited to see how we get race 1 off to a great start.
It's going to be close between those two leaders, that is for sure. Aria Vanchigiato just a 1/10 of a second apart as things stand. Over the line for Dante Oliver as well. He's in 5th place at the moment in this qualifying session. Let's see where he gets to by the end of the day, as we follow Vanchigiato still. Let's see Dante Oliver get to. He's actually pushed down to 6th now. He didn't improve on that time. Michael Angeli, though, gets up into the top 5. Just in behind Guillaume Dombray. Pianzola moves up to 7th. As I can see on my timing, actually, Kyle Newhill has found himself off the road somewhere around the racetrack. Not sure quite where, but anyway, that was probably a minor problem here in qualifying. It is, it's a session where you have to go pushing, and so you're bound to find yourself off the racetrack at some point.
Indeed. It's definitely, in my opinion, from what I've noticed at some other tracks, is this track has that interesting layout, because there is 2 versions of this road course, and one of them is the NASCAR one. Typically, most don't really have that other, what's the word, configuration. So this one, if we had the NASCAR one, you would see there's an additional bus stop that makes this thing just a teensy bit longer, but Since these are GT3s and not related to NASCAR in any way, we are running the original road course that Daytona has set up for us.
And it largely follows that course, but as you say, I think it's actually I mean, I'd understand why they would do it, but I think it's a better idea to run all the way down towards turn number 1 with that long slipstreaming chance right from the bus stop all the way down. I think it's, yeah, very good layout for racing. As I say, I'm not sure I'm a fan of driving it really, but it's a good circuit for racing on anyway. Paul Pitton just pulls off the side of the circuit there. He's clearly done with that lap time. He's going to come around for one more if he's got another one available. There's a maximum of 4 in this session, so he's got to get round in time. This is Cristiano Cruiser in the Ferrari, who is currently down at the back end of the field. He's done 2 lap times so far, and neither of them counted. So this third attempt will have to be one that counts at the end of today. Where is he going to get to as he comes now towards the bus stop chicane with Vantagiato just in behind him here, getting a real nice slipstream as long as he doesn't get in the way now through the bus stop chicane, and he won't. So he's going to get a really nice slipstream now. And this is where the games start to be played as far as getting pole position goes. Only 2 1:42 so far for Guillaume Dombre and Eric Aria, 2 of our big championship rivals. But Vantagiato wants to be the 3rd of those. And he's coming down the front straight now towards the start-finish line with a monumental toe. Look at this. All the way down to turn 1. He's going to take pole, surely. A 42.7. There's the advantage of a great bit of draft on the way towards the start-finish line.
So that's the best part about open qualifying, is you can get the slipstream off another driver, and it speeds your car up by giving it the momentum from airflow that is in front of you. And you can see he used that to his advantage, and he sat pole using that advantage he had.
And anybody reply? Dombre and Aria are out of laps. Dante Oliver goes over the line. He's going to be out of laps at the end of this one. You just see him in the Porsche in the background of this shot of Anthony Eduardes, who is going to be 8th. Oliver stays 5th. Matthew Brown has still got a lap and a half or so to go. Jordan Pianzola has still got a lap and or so to go as well. He's just coming over the line, actually. There he is. There's Luke Broadbent, sorry, just in front of Pianzola, who moves up to 8th place, or 6th place rather, himself. Next up will be Ben Mitchell as Ben Snell makes his way over the line. That'll be the end of his session, and it's a real good time. He is 6th place for Snell. What about for Mitchell? He goes over the line as well. There he is. And he does... Oh, he does improve. Just took a bit of time to come through. 8th place for him. Matthew Brown will be next over the line. He's completing lap number 3. And with less than a minute to go, I don't think he's going to have time to quite complete this... this the way he wants to. Oh dear. No, there's Ben Snow at the end of the session. That's all fine as the Ferrari disintegrates as it so often does. That looks like it's going to be the end of qualifying then. And a great bit of ingenuity there from Ivan Vantagiato to get that draft, because it wasn't a teammate or anything. That was just a good car placement in the train, and he got a nice draft all the way to the start-finish line. There's the end of the session. You see the cars disappear now, and that will be... oh no, back again. It was just a bit of connection fault for a second there. And Pianzola continues to practice nevertheless. The time now does tick away to 11 minutes. So there we go. The session now does draw to a close, and that will be the end of the opening session of the day, of course. We will have 2 races, as always, in case you're not seen this series before. We'll have our first race taken up by same grid as what we've just seen in qualifying, and then a second one coming up a little bit later on. But let's just run through the starting grid ready for this one. Starting, of course, with Ivan Vantagiato, who is on the pole here excuse me, at Daytona. Just in behind him, Dombre, a 10th or so behind, with Eric Aria in 3rd place. David Wang and Dante Oliver round out the top 5, with Ben Snell 6/10ths back in 6th. Pianzola next, the last driver within a second of pole, at Ben Mitchell, Matthew Brown, and Cristiano Cruiser, who rounds out the top 10. Michael Angeli and Anthony Eduardes are on row 6, ahead of Matt Warner and Paul Pitton. Cal Newhill and Scott Evans are on row 8, ahead of Luke Broadbent, who rounds out the field. 17 cars in the field. As you can see, Evans and Broadbent didn't actually get a time in at the end of that one. So that is how we line up. And all 17 now line up on the grid here, Austin, ready to get underway for this shortened pace lap here from Daytona. And it's going to be a big start to get right because it's a relatively long run towards turn 1. But the bigger problem is it's narrow at turn 1. You need to get through the opening lap cleanly and then get on with the rest of the race.
Yeah, and if you're on that outside line, you gotta definitely, you can brake a little later than the inside has to because you can carry more speed out there. So I wonder how that's gonna be a key factor for some of these guys going into that first. Whether I mean, if it's gonna affect them in any sort of way or if it's gonna keep their pace up, we'll just have to see, I guess.
It's going to be an inside start for Vantagiato since he took the pole. He's very slow on this pace. I've got to say, he's really let the pace truck run away at the front end of this field. And I'm not sure why he's done that, but anyway, hopefully nobody's going to get penalty or anything for that because it has been known if you do disobey the iRacing system in the pace lap or indeed under caution, which we're not going to have any of, you do get at fault for it. You do get in trouble for it. So yes, up towards the start finish line we go now then, and it is Vantagiato on the front ahead of Guillaume Dobre, Eric Ariat, David Wang. That's your first 2 rows, and he's not waiting around Vantagiato. Look at that. He's going well before the triangle on the front straight. That is allowed, of course, and he's underway. He's actually spread this field out quite nicely, which might keep things clean in towards turn 1. As Vantagiato dives into the first braking zone of the race, he's got the lead comfortably here, just in front of Eric Aria, who moves up ahead of Dombre, as does David Wang, although they're still side by side for third place, and Dombre does get through on the inside line of Wang. Next in line, it's Dante Oliver ahead of Ben Snell, who just went a little bit wide there. Oh, and a sprint for David Wang in the Mercedes. He goes around at the International Horseshoe, and also going around, it's Luke Broadbent in the Corvette. So is Anthony Eduardes, and Scott Evans has not taken the start, it looks like. A couple of the Corvettes falling apart and a couple of pieces of bodywork also falling off here.
Yeah, you can see David Wang was fast last week. He had a great consistent pace in the rain at Road America, and I don't know how that's going to affect his heat, or sorry, his next race after this heat. We go to the feature, but hopefully he can start well and hold on to the next race.
Dombre back past Aria for second place, by the way, but Ivan Vantagiato at the front has got over a 1 second advantage. This is the big pack in the race from 7th place on backwards. Ben Mitchell holding on to this ahead of Jordan Pianzola in the straight towards the bus stop chicane. Outside line for Mitchell, he's through on the Audi of Pianzola. Then it's Matt Warner and Carl Newhill is who rides out the top 10. Paul Pidham is just outside of that top 10. So that's how we're running at the moment, but a clean start mostly from those at the front of the field. Just a couple of guys coming unstuck, unfortunately, on that one.
Yeah, definitely those first couple braking zones are tough ones because you have to nail them just right, or as that will happen, you will spin out. Excited to see how those Porsches do. So far, just a couple of them up front.
A kiss on the wall there for Ben Snell as the Audi of Pianzola got through on Ben Mitchell. There though are the two, and that's the battle for second place between Dombre and Aria. Vantagiato leads this race, and it's a brilliant thing at Daytona if you can break the slipstream here. If you're towing everybody around as the leader, you're in big trouble. But if you've got an advantage, if you've got a gap, then you're in the money really at Daytona.
In fact, you can see he's doing that just well in that number 89. Leading this field, continuing to dominate.
So battles are down for 6th place on backwards. Ben Snell hit the wall, as I say, out of turn 1 earlier on this lap. And that's really invited the pressure from Jordan Pianzola. You can see here, flash of the light from Mitchell. And this is the sort of slipstreaming train I'm talking about.
Oh,
the spin! Big spin! Ben Mitchell just seemed to get a big snap there through the bus stop chicane.
I think that could have been caused by too much speed, or unless this car really did just snap like you said. I mean, it could have happened either way. That is definitely scary, scary for him.
He's still in the group at least, so he's still got the slipstream, which is what you need really. But yeah, it's not ideal being all that way back. Ben Mitchell as McLaren of Newhill close to Warner. And look at this as well, in the Ferrari there of Cruiser under pressure from Matthew Brown, who goes to the outside. Side by side, just into the international horseman there for fourth position. And Cruiser keeps the place with that inside line. And next in line is Matthew Brown, Ben Scheff, Jordan Pianzola in 7th position. So yeah, this is big. 5 points remaining in this first race. We've got fourth to first race, by the way, from what we get in race 2.
Jeez. Oh! Oh! Jeez.
Wow. Nearly came straight back on in front of Ben Mitchell there. And that is Paul Pitman, who nearly caused a big crash.
That is like something I have not seen before. That's for sure.
That's me. Side by side, meantime, between the Ferrari and the Porsche. Chrysler and Brown, but Chrysler comes out the other side with the place. Then it's Brown, then Ben Snell next in line in the Ferrari. And Jordan Pianzola at the back as well. He's got a bit more of a gap, though, in front of him, so he's not going to quite get involved unless he really gets a triple slipstream. It's going to be pulling to the outside first is Matthew Brown in the Porsche. You can see the green and black Porsche alongside the red Ferrari of Chrysler. Then Ben Snell, who's not quite close enough to make it 3 wide, even if he wanted to in the Castrol car. Down towards turn number 1. Outside line for Brown. Late on the brakes. That's what we were talking about. If you're on the outside, brake later. Hang it round there. He's still there as well as they come into the chicane. And Chrysler again blocks him off on the way towards the international horseshoe. He dives anyway, though. A big dive down the inside from Brown. Chrysler comes back through on the other side, on the inside as well. This is great racing between these two. Still side by side as it is at the moment. And the Ferrari is stuck on the outside now. Chrysler still holding on for Brown, but he snaps. He's sliding. Oh, my word, he's a big save. It's a big save from Chrysler. And he keeps the place at the West Horseshoe.
See, he just did that crossover. Trying to get around that Ferrari. Let's see if he does it again here.
Going to try and get that late apex, that run onto the banking. Look at this. Super close to that Ferrari just in front. There's not much happening elsewhere, by the way. You're not missing anything at the front by watching this. This is an incredible battle, though, and it's good to be watching it at the moment. Now, long down the back straight they go. Looking to the outside now, Brown. This is where we've seen so many snaps and moments through the bus stop chicane so far. And it's going to happen again here. Here we go. Side by side, Brown on the outside. And he can't get through. Chrysler keeps the place. And now he's got a bit of a gap. Here comes Pianzola onto the inside.
These guys are basically touching. I don't know how these guys are continuing. These guys are tire to tire. What a battle. This is insane. These guys know what they're doing. It takes practice like this to not wreck each other like this. This is some insane racing.
Nearly 3 wide. Pianzola has a look down the inside, but he can't quite do it. And Brown will keep 5th place for the moment. Pianzola will be next. Oh, Snell goes for a spin. Oh, and he's very narrowly avoided there by Warner, Newhill, Mitchell and Wang all came through there quickly as well. Snell has to wait to rejoin.
See them kicking up a lot of grass. Though the grass and stuff will stick to the car, unfortunately. But now they got to watch out for the grass on the track so they don't slip, get loose, because that will happen, especially with debris on the racetrack. See, these guys continuing to battle it out.
Just calm down just for a moment, just while Snell has been out of the group. It's just calmed down, but there's less than 2 minutes to go, and the next lap will be the last lap. So this first race has absolutely flown by, and Chrysler again defends on the way towards the bus stop. He's got the inside, he's broken quite late, and he does keep the place. But what about towards turn one? It's the thing with this circuit, the overtaking chances just keep on coming.
He started to reel in that slipstream. He's trying to look to the outside. Question is, does he have enough momentum to get around him?
See here, Pianzola's stuck. He can't go below the double yellow, and he's just going to push the Ferrari instead. He says to Brown, you're going to be at the back of the group here in a moment, but Brown breaks late on the outside line there. Roger's going to keep the place, but Pianzola gets through, slides, meanwhile contact, and that is Guillaume Dombre off the road. Two championship rivals, the top two in the championship, have collided here, and Eric Ari is through on Guillaume Dombre, who goes off down at the International Horseshoe.
At least he didn't suffer any damage from it. That's definitely one thing to be thankful for. No damage for him, but he's able to keep it going. Lucky enough to come out of there with 0 damage whatsoever.
Well, this should be the run to the line now. Oh, big spin! Brown was trying everything there, and he's into the wall. His rear end's come off. He won't get any points from this race now. I don't think so, at least, anyway. Oh, no, he definitely won't. Look at that damage.
Oh,
he will be at the back end of the field by the end of this race. That is a real shame for him, but further out front, it is going to be a victory for Ivan Vantagiato. He's leading by a couple of seconds at the moment after this, after these 10 minutes. And we'll see him in a moment as the checkered flag is waved. There's another one that races to the line, but out front, Ivan Vantagiato is going to take victory here in the first race at Daytona. He wins for the first time since the feature race at Portimao in round 2. Over the line for Vantagiato, he wins the first race of the day.
Very, very well done job for him. He was out front all race long. Spectacular.
Further behind, Chrysler just beat Pianzola to the line by 0.05 of a second. Broadbent and Eduardes, the only others, battling away to the very end here, battling for 13th place, not quite having finished the race just yet. Matthew Brown still trying to get home, actually, by driving, which I'm not sure is the best idea. But anyway, he's still going. As over the line, Broadbent holds on from Eduardes by 0.2 of a second as well. So they race to the end, but in the end, it's Broadbent who gets the place. And as I say, Matthew Brown is still trying to get that car back to the end of pit lane.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for him. We saw him earlier. They were having that great battle, and then the car slipped out from underneath him, going into the high-banked corner. It just destroyed the wing off the car, and that gave him it gave him less downforce, and it caused him he couldn't even go straight.
Well, that is the end of the first race as Brown does limp over the line finally. Does end this race after the first 10 minutes. We'll be into a short warm-up session in the meantime between the two races in a moment. But to go through the full race results from that opening race of the day, it's Ivan Vantagiato who takes the victory ahead of Eric Aria by 2.4 seconds. Guillaume Dombre rounds out the podium. Cristiano Chrysler just held on from Pianzola there for 4th place at the end. Matt Warner next, 6th place ahead of Carl Newhill, with Ben Mitchell not that far away either. David Wang was in that group as well with Michael Angeli. Dante Oliver next after that early lap incident. And Snell had his spin, of course, and dropped the way down with Broadbent and Eduardes, as I mentioned, pretty close over the line. Matthew Brown limped over the line with his damage. Paul Pitton was 1 lap down, with Scott Evans not starting the race, I don't believe. So that's the end of the first race, and yeah, what an exciting first race that was.
Yeah, D, I'm excited to see how much these guys can do. You know, some of these, obviously it's that invert. So if you finish first in the first heat, you start dead last. If you start if you finish dead last in the last race, you start up front. I don't know how that'll play a factor for some of these guys, but I'm excited to see how it does.
Yeah, absolutely. We've not actually seen it every week in this series, actually, but, you know, taking what we can from Road America and last week, it's certainly a good addition to the series. Eric Aria was able to get himself back to the podium place again in the second race last week for Vantagiato. It wasn't quite such a good second race. It was Peter Ferrero who took the race victory in race number 2 last week, but of course he finished last in the first race as well. So I wonder who are those names who might well, having finished badly in that first race, might well come up the field again in the second one. I'm thinking someone like Matthew Brown, who we saw spin quite late on there, might do quite well in the second race. Ben Snell as well, who we're seeing here on your screens. He had a spin around halfway through that race or so, and that really put him towards the back of the field. However, with a new race, and as you say, being put towards the front of the field with a full invert, you can very much. Oh, is he? Well, hopefully he doesn't do that. But yeah, hopefully he doesn't do that. And as I say, and he has a better race. But yeah, he's another one who'll be starting relatively far towards the front, and also a pretty quick driver as well.
I was just about to say, that pointy front end don't look so pointy no more. That's for sure.
That was a pretty big crash. We didn't actually see anybody crash at the bus stop throughout the race, which is good. We saw a couple of snaps, but nobody crashed, thankfully.
Yeah. Gonna pull into the pits. Most likely he is going to get his damage fixed. I mean, I don't blame him. Never mind, it's over.
But, yeah, there's the end of warm up. Anyway, we're not reverse gridding. Sorry, this week. Of course, we've got different. I should say because I've forgotten. We should mention it is reverse grid, full reverse grid sometimes in this series, but not every round. So last week at Road America was a reverse grid. The first 3 weeks weren't. But this round and the next round at Bathurst are not reverse grid feature races, but Fuji and Mugello the last 2 weeks of the season are. Apologies for that. I forgot that it wasn't every week, but it's just some of the weeks. So a couple of weeks now of a not reverse grid race that we are going to see here today. But of course, more points on the line because it is a feature race. And those who finished at the front for that first one will have a good chance in the second one as well. I won't go through the grid in its entirety again because it is, as I say, just the race results effectively from that first race. But the big challenge here over the course of 26 minutes is going to be who can beat Ivan Vantagiato. Can anybody even stay close to him this time round? Because admittedly, in that first race of the day, there really wasn't anybody close to him.
Yeah, you know, Vantagiato, he had beat E2 car by over 2 seconds, which is just insane. So I'm excited to see how what he did in that first race carries over into the second race, second and final race, I should. But he's got 2 other Porsches next to him. All they really need to do is get that slipstream off the number 89, and we can see some really good racing here up front.
Well, let's see how we go as the drivers get themselves towards the start-finish line again. Worth remembering, actually, after that first race, with Aria finishing in second place and Dombre finishing in third, that the championship margin that was 18 points at the start of the day has gone up to 21 points between the two of them. But if Dombre can reverse that here and beat Aria this time round, then it will be pretty much honours even for the day. And obviously it'd be a bit more complicated than that if they don't finish together, which we'll obviously keep across at the time. But anyway, towards the start-finish line again then for Vantagiato, who has already used his trick of going early on the front straight before the trio will really take shape. So just wonder whether he's going to wait a bit longer this time to try and catch everybody out. No, he's going to go maybe even earlier this time, actually, as they make their way towards the start-finish line. He's not pulling any tricks, but they still weren't quite expecting it. At least the front 4 were, but the rest of them a little bit further behind as they come down towards turn 1 for the first time. Bantigiato leads the race just in front of Eric Ariet with Dombre and Kriza next. There is a spinner in the background. Someone taking to the outside of the circuit as well to avoid. At the back of the field, Ben Mitchell it is who's gone for a spin through turn 1.
That's definitely what oh, there's another one.
It's Ben Snell goes for a spin as well out of the International Horseshoe. That's a couple of pretty miserable races for Ben Snell. No points from race number 1. And he'll do well to score points from race number 2 as well here, as again, Aria on the defensive. Dombre looking up the inside here with Kreiser just in behind. Bantigiato has not quite got the advantage that he had last time.
Oh, there's another spin. 2-car spin. Oh, man.
Michelangeli.
It's like a lot of mistakes are being made in this last race.
Luke Broadbent gets himself back onto the circuit again, but yeah, we are starting to see the opening lap crashes here in the second race of the day. I guess they would have known in race 1 that if they had a crash through there, it really ruins your night because it puts you at the back for that race, and of course no reverse grid this week, so you get put towards the back for the second race as well. But this time round, there is no second race. They're letting loose a little bit more. The front 4 are away together. Newhill and Warner are going side by side, which is not helping them stay with these guys, along with David Wang as well, who did a decent recovery in that last race, took to 9th. He's now up to 7th in this race as they come down towards turn 1. Side by side in the background there. Warner on the outside of Kyle Newhill. Can he stay in front? No. And slow.
Oh,
jeez. What happened there? Oh! It's still happening here. Kreiser was slow out of turn 1. Wang went into him. Warner went into him. And there might be more here. More contact down the International Horseshoe. What's going on here? And it's a spin. Meantime for Bantigiato. The leader, Ivan Bantigiato, has gone for a spin.
That's not good for the leader. He went from 1st to 11th real quick, but we have our new leader. This has been insane. And the bump from the BMW. Wow.
That was a big moment in this race. It's let these two out front and battling for the win amongst themselves. Aria versus Dombre. And Dombre really needs to finish ahead, to be honest, so that he can reverse the losses that were sustained in that first race. But he's on the back of Aria at the moment. In towards the bus stop, he's going to make the move. Dombre is in front suddenly. Going to presume it's into the bus stop chicane. But he managed to get himself ahead of Aria, who's not got a very good run at all. And Kyle Newhill now is close to him. There he is in the McLaren, so it will be 3 for the lead, in fact.
I think we've got to get another lap in here. See Dombre still out in the lead. Trying to close this gap. He gained a whole lot of time into turn 1 there. Eric Aria gained quite a bit of time. Now he's real close here.
Oh, in the background, look at that, really close as well. Hard to know where to look at the moment. Matt Warner is at the front of the group for 4th place. Cristiano Kriza, Nancy Oliver and David Wang all involved as well, but this is the battle for the lead between Dombre and Aria. It is an important battle for this championship. Bantigiato was getting himself back into the championship picture, started the day 42 behind, but getting himself back into the picture with that first race win. That spin, though, in that previous lap has really cost him here. He's down to 9th place at the moment, and this is the group he wants to catch. I can't believe Cristiano Kreiser is still going at the speed that he is with that front end. There is nothing left of that Ferrari.
I'm also surprised he's able to keep up to speed with how much front end damage he has. Like, you can see part of that left front tire, it's kind of slanted a little bit, so that is nowhere near good, but you can see he's going to take the inside here. Wow, he passed them both. Looks like he's going faster than everyone with that damage rate. That is insane.
There we go. Porsche on the outside of Matt Warner. That's Dante Oliver. Score any points from race 1, but he was 11th. They got himself into a decent enough position to score something in race 2. As they come down towards turn 1, Oliver's on the outside, but he's not going to break late enough out there. He's not going to make it past. We've got just over 20 minutes to go here. Plenty of time still left in this race. As Oliver now pulls alongside Warner, very close to contact. Matt Warner again goes on the defensive. He keeps his top 5 position for now.
You can see these guys really battling for positions because all points necessary as we have only just a couple more races left. So these guys are on high alert for where they are finishing. It's important where they are finishing.
Wang here, really close to the Porsche of Oliver down to that final corner before the banking. There in the background, Pittam in the Porsche. Antoniato set the best lap of anybody last time round, so he is still on a charge here, and he is not done just yet. They now come down the straight towards the bus stop chicane. They are more than 4 seconds behind the podium places. That's not what they're aiming for here. This is all about the battle for 4th position.
So cannot believe that Krista still has all that front end damage and is still up to speed. That is insane.
Look at this. 3 cars covered by nothing at all over the start-finish line. Roger on the inside keeps the position. With Warner and Oliver battling it behind, Warner keeps 5th as well, so no change down towards turn number 1. But look at them trying here. Warner and Oliver trying left and right. Can't do it. Reiser keeps... Oh, and Warner slides. Oh, right to the... Oh, there's a big spin now. Warner spins in front of the field, and there's going to be contact. Antoniato comes through and smacks him. There's multiple cars involved here. Matt Warner spins to the back of the field. He's got big damage, but so will some of the others.
That was a decent-sized wreck. It gave quite a bit of cars some damage. See how that plays out for those guys. Leader now getting about 1 second in front of P2. You can see that now. Going into the bus stop. Doing a real excellent job. Dombre after that one car spun earlier. Still leading this field off. Guys are getting faster and faster. Feels like, at least. These guys pretty fast.
Well, it's just spread out a little bit. The battle's just slowing down now as we approach 10 minutes again in this race. Just because of that crash, really, that we saw a few moments ago. 44.6 from Antoniato last time round does suggest there might be quite a lot of damage on his car. Unless he was just a bit slower because of the incident itself. It looks like... oh no, that's Scott Evans, sorry. I thought Chrysler got his front bumper back again without doing anything, but no, that is not him. That's Scott Evans, who didn't do race 1. Started from the back in race 2, and he's up into the top 10 already. It may not be the worst call to start from the pit lane and try and come through the field, because this has been a good job so far into the top 10 from him.
Indeed, and top 10 do get points.
Doesn't give points out to everybody, which is, yeah, I'm a fan of, I must admit. like the point system in this series. Does keep things interesting.
You can see Matthew
Follow
Baum
Matthew.
trying to hold on to that P9 spot. Not getting too many points, but get what you can get.
And you'd imagine he'll be moving through the field as well. Don't forget he had that spin in race 1, which dropped him down to 15th place. And so, effectively, he's coming through on drivers who are, he'll feel anyway, slower than he is. Pianzola, though, is a strong driver. So is Scott Evans. They're both coming through the field in the same way that he is. So they're all fast drivers in the lower part of the top 10. At least these three are. As they come down onto the brakes now, Matt Warner finds himself back out onto the circuit again. He will be 16th when he rejoins, and the time screen updates in a moment. There you go. And so that's going to be a 16th place finish for him, but he's already over a lap down. Unfortunate, really, in that incident. There was a real dramatic moment coming out of this corner a couple of laps ago.
And it definitely split some of those fast guys up, but now they have damage. You did see one on your timing tower just a couple minutes ago. One of them did have a meatball, but they did go into pit lane, and it seems like they got that fixed. Now they're up to that P15 spot, just one lap down.
And really in the middle of this group at the moment. Scott Evans just losing this group. He went very wide at the West Horseshoe, actually, just a moment ago. He broke too late and nearly hit Brown, actually. He was pretty close to hitting the Porsche in front of him. Now he's almost pulling out the way of Warner as he's saying, please don't pass me here. You're a lap down, stay out the way. But, well, stay out the way, stay there, because they want to keep a car between himself and Mitchell. This is the battle for fourth place as Dombre comes into the pit lane. So the pit stops now as we approach half distance are beginning with just over 13 minutes remaining.
One of them just went in there. Car that had absolutely zero front end. Just another one going in. Eric Aria now in the lead. Kyle Newhill, Dante Oliva.
All promoted positions because of the first stop for Vanciato. Also, Vanciato, sorry, Dombre, although Ivan Vanciato is in as well. David Wang in as well, Cristiano Kreiser and Scott Evans as well coming into the pit lane. So we're all happening in the pit lane. As everybody will have to be at some point in race number 2. This feature race does include one pit stop for everybody.
Yeah, and I'm definitely interested to see what these guys' pit strategies are. Because, I mean, you saw last week at Road America, some did pit way early, but then they had to make one more stop, and as they couldn't make it. But now I'm interested to see on when these guys pit and see if they do have enough to fully make it, which that's the halfway.
We'll see how long Aria decides to leave this then as he works his way now through NASCAR turns 3 and 4. He is going to... No, he's not. He's taken a... Oh, he is. He's... I'm not sure whether he was indecisive or whether I just couldn't read his mind there, but he comes into the pit lane now and will draw to a stop right towards the end of pit lane, of course, here as he started from second. So he will get towards the end. And there will be pit stops from everybody in behind as well. So not too many staying out. Oh, and a big mistake there from Aria. He just overshot his box. He saw him have to reverse and back up into the box properly. That was terrible news for Aria, who now takes his stop. It's longer than Dombre's as well anyway. 13.8 seconds. He's lost nearly 2 seconds stationary time, and he went too deep into his box anyway. There comes Dombre, but don't forget, you're not off the pit limiter yet these days. The pit release line is further round. Dombre is going to lead here by some margin.
Now, the only thing Eric Aria can really hope for is that Dombre makes that mistake. That's the big thing that Eric Aria is probably really hoping for right now, is that Dombre does make a mistake in one of these corners.
Busy. Oh, Vanziato, 3 wide.
Oh,
Look at
wow.
that. Great move on Chrysler and Newhill. And he's going to get them both busy. Cristiano Chrysler's got that front end repaired here in the pit stop phase, and he's back at it. He's racing again hard with Vanziato. Outside line. He's going to get the inside. Oh, no. Great defense from Cristiano Chrysler. Great defense. And he gets into 4th place. This is a great battle, but a great bit of defending there from the Ferrari. Vanziato is stalled for the moment.
Honestly, I was really scared that they were going to wreck again. I can't believe they stuck it 3 wide.
He's there again. He's on the outside really early, almost too early here. And surely there's going to be a chance now for him to get through on the way towards the bus stop chicane. Vanziato is, yep, there he is, just about in front. And Chrysler has to tuck in behind. Newhill next in line, and that's Matt Warner, by the way, in the BMW. He's not actually involved in this battle. He is a lap down.
He is one of the drivers that had a meatball earlier from that one incident that took out like 3 other people. Him trying to pass. It's outside line. You should see how it works. Matt Warner, even though it's not a position, but you never know. It'll be useful to get out in front of a car that is on the lead lap.
Well, there is Guillaume Dombré with just less than 10 minutes to cruise home now and even things up on the day with Eric Aria. Starts the day 18 behind him, as I mentioned earlier. Lost 3 in that first race. He might be about to gain 3 back again in the second race, if indeed it stays as it is, and take the championship down to another race. The final 3 rounds, indeed, starting at Bathurst in 1 week's time. This is the last nighttime race of the season, by the way. After we had Sebring earlier on, taken on in the nighttime conditions. We've got Daytona here as well, though. Daytona racing at the night's never really a nighttime race. It is well lit round here. But that is the last of the nighttime driving we're going to see here this season. As Kyle Newhill has gone off the road somewhere. He's dropped down to 9th place now.
I will say it's definitely a great day to be a Porsche out here at Daytona. These Porsches have been non-stop dominant all day long.
Over the start-finish line. And Dombré, again, 2 seconds of an advantage. We'll get a first flavour of lap times, actually, this time around. 43.4 last time from Dombré. 43.1 from Aria. So about 3/10 of a second gained, roughly. Now, he does need to do it a little bit quicker than that, because there's probably only 5 laps left. But even so, that would, at that rate of closing, 3/10 a lap for 5 laps. And he would get there in time, if indeed he carries on like this.
Dombré is definitely, in fact, hoping that he cruises home. Definitely help him out in points. Aria trying to do everything in his power to catch you up to Dombré. He didn't miss that pit box. He definitely could be out front, or at least be right on that bumper.
Further behind, Oliver Vanziato and Chrysler will continue to fight for 3rd position. A 12-second gap, by the way, from 2nd to 3rd. So that's the battle for a highest position in the field. We'll leave the front 2 at it for the moment, while they are not quite close together. Vanziato is closing here on Oliver, and in the end, after his spin, looks like it's going to be decently salvaged, actually, from him. There is Oliver. He's actually just pulled 9/10 ahead of Vanziato, who was there. You caught a glimpse of with Chrysler in behind. This is Pianzola, Brown, and Evans. Another 3-car battle, this time for 6th place as well. So there is a couple of others going on out there.
Yeah, all those front 2 have to do now is just basically ride at home. Obviously, Leader out front from P3 by 13 seconds, which is insane. But the only person the leader does have to worry about is Eric Aria, who just set the fastest lap on that previous lap, so.
Yeah, he's coming. But this lap has not quite gone so well in the first sector anyway for him, so that's not particularly ideal. Down on the brakes for Vanciato, taking a different line to Oliver on the way towards the West Horseshoe there. There are different lines you can take through it, I suppose, but it doesn't seem to have quite worked out for Vanciato that time. He's not particularly closer to Oliver. Kreiser is not that far away either. There you go, 1.8 seconds between the two leaders. They've got just about 4 minutes to go, and that'll be 3 laps to go.
Good to see how this one finishes out. If Eric Aria can catch up, Dombre, but Eric Aria definitely does have speed. They are both almost about equally as fast as each other. All it takes is no mistakes.
Well, it's a second now, and that's another 2 temps lost on this lap. Both of them actually a bit slower than what you'd expect from them on that last lap. So Aria's caught up, and this could be a race to the line between these two. Super important, maybe more symbolic than anything else, that Dombre finishes in front, because the gap between having an 18-point deficit in the championship going into the last 3 rounds and a 24-point deficit going into the last 3 rounds, that is a very big gap between those two.
I will tell you what, Ewan, I am excited for this finish. This is going to be a great one.
There's still 2 laps to go after this one as well. I believe, anyway. Should be 2 laps to go. Be never quite clear in a timed race like we've got here in this one. But yeah, would you rather be the driver in front defending or the one behind trying to overtake? Generally, you want to be last coming out of the bus stop chicane, and you'll be ahead by the start-finish line. But there are still a number of things you can do as the leader going into the bus stop chicane on the last lap to stay in front by the start-finish line.
These guys train for this. They set so many practice laps that they understand how the track feels, so hopefully Dombre uses practice wisely and can come away with this thing, hold off Eric Aria just a couple more seconds.
Two laps to go it will be. There is just enough time to squeeze 15 laps out of this second race of the day in the BISC GT3 Championship here in round 5 of season 1. This is a great battle between these two drivers. Aria, of course, extending his championship lead last week at Road America, as Dombre finished a bit further down the field. Only 7 points gained last week for Dombre, and 23 for Aria, so 16 gains. Dombre's got to try and reduce that margin, or at least by winning this race, he would make sure it doesn't go out any further. So he's got a lap and a half to try and hold on to the victory, and what pressure he is under at the moment to do it.
The only thing Eric Aria can hope for is that slipstream. Oh. Sorry about it. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Disconnect. Act like that did not happen.
Here we go, in towards the end of the lap. Apologies for that. We're back in time for the run to the end in this race. Just over 10 seconds to go, or a minute and 10 rather, and Dombre leads Aria. They will take the white flag. They have taken the white flag. It is one lap to decide it between the two of them. So far, Aria has not had any chances to go past, or has he just been waiting for the end of this race?
Really, really great question. Eric Aria going to try everything in his power to catch up to Dombre. Slowly doing it.
West Horseshoe now. Closes in again. It feels like he's just waiting, biding his time, and he's going to strike on the run to the line here to take a very symbolic victory in round 5. We're officially in the second half of the season, and the race for the championship's getting ever tighter. If Aria takes this, then it would be absolutely massive for him. It increases championship margin by 33% on the night.
Here he comes.
They're both just waiting. I don't think he's going to do it into the bus stop. He has a look. He's going to try and get in his head, but he's not going to do it on the way towards the bus stop chicane. It's going to be on the way out. Dombre's nowhere near far enough ahead here. He's got to do something in terms of trickery on the run to the line, unless Aria's too close, which is also possible. If he's going to have to be side by the end of the banking here, then he's going to be too close. He needs to be swooping up for the banking at the end here and coming past at the finish. And now he might well have just timed this right. He wasn't too close. He's got the slipstream. The run to the line. Has he got enough here? Dombre on the inside. Might well hold on.
Oh,
he
what
has.
a finish.
10th of a second. That is a big surprise, I must say. I didn't think Dombre would hold on from that position there. No trickery, no fancy games, just as quick as he can through the last chicane. And Dombre does hold on for a very important win.
And that was a really, really fantastic finish. One more lap, Eric Aria would have had it.
That is quite remarkable. Dombre keeps the position and keeps the win ahead of Eric Aria. A great race between those two. And it's honours even heading out of Daytona, going towards Bathurst next week. The battle between the two of them will just continue again.
I'm excited to see at Bathurst next week. Based on what I saw here at Daytona, I'm excited. Big time excited. Especially in tight racing.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. That's what you get here from Daytona. Always fantastic racing, even if, as I say, not the circuit that is super nice to drive. It is a good circuit to race on. That is for sure. And we've certainly seen that here tonight. As Michelangelo comes over the line, we'll have a look at the final race results from the second race here tonight in a moment. It's going to be Guillaume Dombre who takes the victory ahead of Eric Aria by 0.06 of a second at the end, of half a tenth. Eric Aria stays second ahead of Dante Oliver, rounds out the podium. Vanciato couldn't quite get past him at the end after his spin. Cristiano Croza rounds out the top 5 with Jordan Pianzola then in 6th place. It was Matthew Brown then 7th ahead of Scott Evans, Ben Mitchell, Carl Newhill rounded out the top 10. And then those outside the points, David Wang, Anthony Edwards and Michelangelo on the lead lap. Matt Warner and Luke Broadbent were a lap down. Paul Pitton was 2 down, with Ben Snell 3 down at the end of the day. We're now joined by Guillaume Dombre at the end of that race 2 victory. Of course, Guillaume, congratulations on that. Tell us about the last lap and just how you thought about how you were going to stay in front there. Because I must admit, when you came out the bus stop there and you weren't doing anything fancy, particularly coming out the corner, I thought you were going to lose the place, but you managed to hold on. What was your plan?
Yeah, that I was basically just praying, man, because I made a pretty bad mistake in turn 1 on the lap before, and then he closed in like half a second on that corner alone, and then I thought I was pretty safe until then. I was basically just, you could not really relaxed, but I was trying to, not push too hard, which might have been the problem in the end. And then I made a few too many mistakes, and then by the last lap, he was right on me, and I just had to pray. It was a tough race.
I can certainly imagine. And it's between yourself and Eric Aria, who is your big championship rival this season, it's honours even. 18 points it remains, the gap between the two of you, because one beat one in the one race and the other way around the other. Sorry?
For now, yeah, for now.
Yeah, for now, yeah. How are you feeling about that gap going into the last 3 rounds?
Yeah, fine, actually. I've just, I think it was a bit of a cheeky move in the first race, and I was passed at the start-finish line. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks very much for coming to have a chat with us, as always, Guillaume, and congratulations on race 2 victory tonight.
Thanks, boys. Love your work, man. Thank you.
Thanks very much. That's Guillaume Dombre, the race winner from race 2 tonight in the BISC GT3 Championship. We'll just hang on for a moment, see if anybody else pops themselves in our booth or indeed in the green room. Here to come and have a chat with us. But Austin, that was a great second race, a great run to the line as well. Interesting to hear from the race winner that, all the tactics that went into that basically was just pray that I stay in front on the way to the line. Quite an interesting strategy to have for a race winner there.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it took there at the end. I mean, I honestly, if that was me, I probably would have done the same thing. I would have just prayed, and hoped I could just drive away and hold off the car behind me, which in that case was Dombre and Eric Aria. So it was some good racing. Definitely a couple incidents, but overall it was phenomenal.
Absolutely. If you are watching this back, by the way, and you are a driver, you want to come have a chat with us in the future, then pop yourself in the green room and we will bring you in for the race. I know that everyone's in the race comms channel, but I'm not sure everybody wants to chat to us, to be honest, from there. So I won't drag people from there. But I will drag you from the green room if indeed anybody wants to join us in the future rounds at the end of these broadcasts. But that's just about it from us here tonight. This has been the BISC GT3 Championship for round 5 here from Daytona. We'll be back in 7 days' time from Bathurst as we get on the road to the championship, the first season of this championship. And it's coming down to the wire between Eric Aria and Guillaume Dombre. Find out what's going to happen in the next chapter of this story in 7 days' time here on the JP YouTube channel. As always, myself, Ewan, Austin, Scheff. It's goodbye for now, and we'll see you in 1 week's time.